Stop fighting it. Hey everybody, this is your girl Felicity Woodson, and I'm here with,
Gigi Carrera, your host here at Women Everywhere.
and we are so glad to have you guys here today. It is a beautiful day outside, and we got a lot going on. Today, later on, we will have Kayla Perkins. She has KFab Fashions, and she is a young entrepreneur and fashion designer. So, totally be aware of what's going to happen with her and what's going on with her awesome new designs.
Yes, I'm excited to talk to her. She's 11. So she is actually local here in Chicago. So we're so excited to have her on the show later today. And we can also see some of her outfits. I mean, well, at least the t-shirt today. So if you guys are actually interested on being on air to ask her some questions as well, you can call at 708-223-8953, or you can post on our Facebook page.
Post on our Facebook page, and also, obviously our personal people. You can give us a little text message and personal message on our Facebooks and see if we'll respond. We'll probably respond.
Yes, probably. And
So-
also, guys, yeah, we are always live here at IntellectualRadio.com every Sunday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. So you're going to be seeing us, Felicity, or hearing us.
Yeah, whatever, which one you choose. From 1 to 2 p.m. That's Central Time, because we do have followers in other states and continents. So,
Philippines,
oh yeah,
where I came from.
where she came from, California, especially where I'm coming from. So we are really excited. So just a recap on what happened last week. If you didn't tune in, we talked about hot summer fashion, also summer fitness, what's going on in Chicago. So a lot of cool and awesome things. So if you didn't check that out, look at our page on Women Everywhere, and also on our personal pages, and you can see that podcast.
Yes, and also it's on YouTube. Like Intellectual Radio has a Facebook page on YouTube. You can see our previous recording there with the rest of the other shows here at Intellectual Radio. I think we have almost 80 shows here in Chicago, in Intellectual Radio. So guys, make sure to check it out because it's amazing, and a lot of new shows here. And we want to give a shout out to all the people that are tuning in here at Intellectual Radio Women Everywhere. So if you guys haven't seen some of the things we've done, the last week we did a relaunch of Women Everywhere, where Felicity is coming on board as part of our growth here at Women Everywhere. So there's a lot of things that we are actually doing, a lot of changes, like letting some artists play their songs.
Yeah,
here.
so we'll definitely have artists and DJs, music producers. You guys have an opportunity to market your music, your art on Women Everywhere. Send us an email, contact us on our Facebooks. If you know us personally, just get in contact with us, and we'll let you know how you can do that. It's pretty simple.
Mhm.
And we'd love to have you as a guest
yeah.
for you to explain what's going on with your work. If you have an event that you would like to market, we'd like to be your helpers.
Yeah,
Let us help you
We want to
market.
help you promote
and-
it, and yeah, and we want to go there actually.
We want to be a part of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Just like we want you to be a part of what we're doing.
Yeah, and I hope you guys will actually just tell us what you're thinking about our show. Just comment, let us know how can we do better and improve it. Actually, I want to give a shout out to Jay Davis, who is Jay Davis Film Production. He is and Dante Williams. They're doing a movie called Not Another Black Movie.
Yeah, not another black movie.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited. I love these guys. They're amazing, and they're actually doing I think a photo video right now. And I met one of our team at Carrera Co from that meeting that I had with them, Luis Martinez, and he's going to be doing the illustration of our Mud Culture magazine that's coming out in end of June. So I'm so thrilled about that. So anyways, if you have any movies coming up, you have a CD coming out, anything like
Anything.
that. So yeah, we
We'd love
are going
to-
to help you market it and put it out there.
Yeah, we like to be, like I said, a part of your movement, and we'd love to support you. So just like I said, a little recap of what we're going to be talking about today in our show: fitness,
Mhm.
fashion, pageantry, And our guest, Kayla, definitely will be talking about her design. So
Mhm.
really excited about that.
And that's going to be coming up around 1:30.
Oh,
So she will
1:30.
have
So
get to know her a little bit.
make sure you're tuned in at 1:30.
Yes, perfect. And so what's going on with you?
So, I considering that we have a awesome youth
Mhm.
on our show today, I thought it would be appropriate to talk about some youth fitness and youth activities and family fitness friendly activities. So, definitely for you parents, you guys have to be the role models for your youth. So obviously you can't tell your kids to go work out and you're not working out or eating good yourself.
Mhm.
So that obviously starts with you. But it is so easy to get your kids involved if you're involved.
Mhm.
So that is one. The first step in getting families involved is get together, pick a
Mhm.
day, pick a time, and just get together and do it together.
Mhm.
As easy as making a game, a fitness activity out of cleaning the house.
Mhm. They'll get you moving for sure.
Yeah, have a wash on, wash off. Like,
What is wash on, wash
like
off?
when like you wash and then you dry.
Oh,
like.
yeah. Okay. So one thing that I think too is, how when I go to, fast food restaurants, the first thing that I actually look at these places are the people that's in it. Because for the most part, like when I see, well, this is health. Because in fitness wise, it's not just what you're working out or how often you work out. It's
No, it's
also the
what.
food that
Yeah.
you're wearing.
Oh,
I mean, you're eating
almost
for
like
sure.
80% of that.
Yes. So
Definitely.
when the thing is, I see a lot of parents that are overweight, and then what's following them behind them are kids that are also overweight. So it's so
Yeah.
important. Like, think about that, especially on summertime when they have a lot of activities. They get hungry, and then they just go into your pantry and just grab whatever they can grab first. I think parents should worry about what they're actually buying in the store to make sure that it's not something that's gonna.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, parents, before you can really do any advocacy with your children as far as health, is it has to start with you and you getting out there. So whether that be as a family going out on a nice day like today and riding your bike, catching the train downtown, walking, doing like pre and post walks before meals,
Mhm.
just to kind of burn a little bit of calories before even eating dinner. And that also brings that time with family,
Yeah,
which is
quality
also
time,
quality time with
obviously.
family.
Mhm.
And if it's easy, internet has made life easy for everything.
Oh,
You can
yes.
Google anything, you can YouTube anything. So use those resources, and I say it's first for you parents and for you non-parents, like
Mhm.
use those resources when it comes to fitness and finding obviously reputable sources with that, your .orgs, your edus, hell.
Oh, no, that now that you're mentioning that, I think it's good to mention that if you do have a pet, that'll make your kids moving too. Because
Yeah,
one thing is they play with the pets, and
especially dogs.
yes,
If your
when the
kid is
cat, forget it. Yeah, dog for
if
sure.
your kid is begging you for a dog, you make your kid walk the dog,
Hmm.
pick up after the dog, play with the dog. That is a
That's a
form of
very good, yeah.
activity. PBS.org has great activities for youth,
Hmm.
from relays to obstacle courses.
Hmm.
It's so easy. It's just getting up, getting together, and just moving.
And then you have that activities from your park district too, because I always get those.
Yes.
I always get those, like, I don't know, 10
Brochures.
pages brochure that says, okay, we have this opening, and in book reading. Well, book reading you can't really work out except walking towards the library, I guess.
Yeah.
But they have a lot of activities there, like a volleyball and in your park district, and I think it's a lot less expensive. You actually bring, and most of them are free. Like, I don't know,
Yeah, there's a lot.
$4.
You can look, especially during the summertime, because it is especially important for you to push either park district, sports, anything like that. It's important because obviously your kid is not going to school. So they're not either getting up, walking to the train or walking to the bus or walking to school. So they're losing that aspect of that fitness. They're also losing that obvious walking home or aspect to that fitness. And then they're missing that resources as far as recess is their gym. So it is important during the summertime to especially get outside and get involved with your kids. I'm telling them, see, when I was, and I'm young, but like when I was in middle school, we were, period. There was no TV. And if we watched TV, it was during the night, after homework, after dinner, and we got like 10, 15 minutes, if that. But we were told to go outside. The door was locked right behind us. We were told to use that water faucet outside when we were thirsty. And I'm from California, so it's hot. So we definitely would drink it out of the hose.
That sounds interesting.
And we had to stay outside and play. We were forced to stay outside and play. We were not given the option to play our video games, play on the computer. We were forced to go outside. And it would have been nice if my parents would have came outside with us and did things, but we had so much fun. You know, we did all kinds of things.
You don't
now it's not necessarily, I guess, safe in certain areas. You can't really let your kids do certain things by themselves.
Unless you're there.
So that makes it easier for you to get involved with your family, get involved with a healthy lifestyle. It's like if, let's just say, you know, you want to lose weight and your husband brings home a gallon of ice cream and a bag of chips, your favorite bag of chips, you know, every night, and you're trying to lose weight.
And then you have that midnight hunger.
And then you have that midnight hunger, and then there's like this ice cream and this bag of chips. And you eat it because it's there. And your partner isn't supporting the fact that no junk food, no chips, no nothing. So it's a matter of not just your partner, your family. You guys have to support each other. It has to be a whole lifestyle as a family.
Yeah, when I was growing up, it's so interesting because, you know, I grew up in the Philippines when I was young, you know, and what we're doing there is, like what you said, there wasn't any TV or anything. Everywhere is safe, but I had to walk so many miles away. Well, at least, you know, like a mile away to get to school. So yeah, that was really interesting because there wasn't any option. Then when we moved to the city, then it was easier for me, but kids there really didn't have that option to play video games and things like that. And I think that now it's a lot harder, aside from the fact that there's much more option with junk food and, you know, other than that, they're also, it's just nothing else to do out there. Like, especially here in Chicago, like I think most suburban areas would have more places to go and biking. It's not safe to go biking.
And I definitely understand as far as like resources, where you grow up in your neighborhood, it's kind of hard to do certain things like go outside and play.
And this way they have more.
And I understand. And there are parents that are, you know, single family households where mom is at work and the kids don't really have much supervision but themselves. And so nobody's going to really tell them to work out or eat healthy. They kind of have to make their own way. And so there are those aspects, but as a whole, if we can somewhat get our children, our youth involved in just being active, just even for ourselves, like I said, for these parents, and how it's interesting to see obesity in youth, but you have to look at it. It's not just the youth, it's overall.
Yes.
And so
women, it's one of the biggest problem with women too. It's not just obviously the youth. Well, when I see a girl that's obese or overweight, you know, I always look at like, what are you feeding them exactly? You know, that's really one thing, because as far as fitness with youth, it's not the same as when you're adult. You know, you have to be careful. Their bones are not fully developed, and you got to be watch. It has to be integrated with what's safe for them as far as their activities. One thing I want to mention is our guest this afternoon. She dances also with the bulls, the junior Both.
She's a
So
dancer.
I know. We are gonna give
Yeah,
you
I'm
guys
definitely kind of
actually.
curious how long she's been doing
Mhm,
that,
mhm.
and who kind of inspired her to go that direction, because to still be doing it or just starting or have done it for a long time,
Mhm.
like there has to be obviously support with
From parents and
from your
all that.
parents. So I'm
If you
interested.
are a parent or if you're a mom, that's you have an advice on how this kid can do
Get
fitness and any other activities that they usually do that we haven't mentioned yet
yeah.
in the show. Feel free to post it on our Facebook page or call us at 708-223-8953 or text us 630-542-2300. I almost forgot my phone number.
So, with the beautiful day like this
Mhm.
outside, what's going on in the fashion world?
Oh, yeah. So there's a lot of things. Actually, I want to talk about summer. We've had last week, and we've talked about some of the trends on summertime. Here in Chicago, though, it's very interesting because I want to integrate the pageantry with this as far
Okay.
as talking about fashion
Okay.
because there's a slight difference, but a lot of pageants happen during summer and during fall time. So this coming weekend, we have the world's glamorous miss that's coming in Rosemont. So we're doing. I'm gonna be one of the judges, so I cannot wait to see the girls. We're doing a lot of interviews, and I think there's gonna be a lot of beautiful women. I can't wait for that. And as far as summer fashion, in that, so they're bringing in it here in Chicago because it's summertime. So that's gonna be a lot of obviously colors and different texture that are light outfits, and even if you're not wearing a gown or a dress, that's really definitely what you should look for. And since so there's that pageant that I wanted to mention that's coming up that I'm going to be involved with, and then there's the Miss USA 2016 today.
Okay, so that's a big
So
one.
yeah, I think that's on Fox. So if you guys are interested, they're in Las Vegas right now, but they are selecting the Miss USA 2016 to compete for the world title. So
Oh,
that's today. I have a favorite, of course.
of course, you
Yeah.
always do.
Yes, I have a favorite, and I think the one of the everybody likes South Carolina. So, but I do love Colorado, so I am betting for her. Colorado and Texas are my favorite girls for the Miss USA. And then I also want to mention that, well, as far as fashion, now we'll go back to fashion for
Okay,
kids.
fashion. We'll go back to
Okay.
fashion for kids.
Yes. Fashion for kids. Well, you're not doing, so there's no school. Of course, it's going to end like, what is it, next week? Is it
Yeah,
next week?
I think next.
The 21st of June. So,
And some kids have already ended school, like high schools have already
mhm.
finished school.
Yeah. I think like it depends on whether or not you're in private school or you're in public school or what district you're in,
Yeah.
obviously. So I mentioned because Kayla from KFab's Fashion is actually 11, so she's still in school. So June 21st is the end of the school. So I think like fashion wise, when it comes to summertime with these kids, as long as they're out there, maybe the same principle with from last week, a lot of like denim and jeans and all that for the kids, and t-shirts and all that. So I'm going to be showing some of the t-shirts from K5 Fashion. You guys should call and buy something. I think it's $15 per shirt, so we're going to show that to you shortly. And t-shirts, of course,
Yeah.
for kids actually.
So I have a real quick question for you.
Mhm.
Considering that you're a fashion designer and we're talking about fashion for kids, and I'd like to bring this up later when we have our guest.
Mhm.
The cross between fashion for youth and fashion for adults becoming this.
Mhm.
You starting to see this. I seen this. She was probably
They're everywhere.
she was probably 2 years old,
Mhm.
wearing a bikini that was see through or
Oh.
mesh or something, and it was a one piece that split down and was
it covers the back.
Her whole back was out. It came like a halter top. This is a baby in a miniature woman bathing suit.
Yeah.
A woman's bathing suit, but like miniaturized. So
is that like so it's a bathing suit, right?
It's a bathing suit, which is a little, a little different. Maybe not. But I'm starting to see a lot of the same clothes that adult women are wearing on youth. And I'm kind of curious.
They just make it smaller.
They just make it smaller. So is this a new trend? Are designers are getting like lazy?
I don't understand. Honestly, I don't understand that. Like when I see, and this is not just for kids, they're also for kids that are 11 years old, they're in school and everything. And I think that fashion designer needs to be socially responsible at the same time.
Yeah.
They can't just make an outfit and make it okay for the rest of, young generation to wear it. Because when they see, I just don't know. I see a lot of designers that are not concerned about how it would look while the young kid is wearing them. So that's definitely, for me as a designer, I think that it's really a no to make the outfit, to make it's more sexualized. But in my perception, I always feel like a kid should be cover it up. That's the least thing they should worry about. What am I gonna wear today? How how am I gonna look in this? Is it showing my shoulder and it's showing my legs up high enough? That should be the least of their problem. Their focus should be in education and making new friends, having great memories, than actually
what they're wearing,
what color is going to be bedazzled.
So do you think that this might be like the fact that like designers are just becoming lazy and making clothes that appeal to the parents, and so that the parents will buy them?
Well, I don't think it's like lazy. I think it's driven by capitalism. I think they want to make money by appealing to what parents want. But if you're a parent, you should probably not do that, because
you should be aware of what your kid is wearing, right?
Yes, you should be aware of what your kids are wearing, and just the idea that you should worry more about what they're doing in school, and being spending quality time with them, and developing them into world ready to be a good member of the society. You cannot be having them walk around in booty shorts and stuff. And I mean, if you're an adult, that's fine, but also that's the idea of social responsibility. I think it goes both ways. It's not just from the designer's perspective, but it's also on the people that are purchasing, because if you're not buying this clothes, nobody's going to make them. So if you're a parent and you have a 13-year-old kid that wants to buy these booty shorts, I said, do you have a job? Am I giving you the money to buy this? These are the outfits that I want you to buy. I'm very restrictive about that, because you have to draw the line,
We had to put our hands next to down to the side.
Yeah.
And if our skirt was shorter, or our shorts were shorter than our fingertips, that we'd have to change.
Well,
and that like used to be a rule, and where women were covered up more. And it's sad too. You hear a lot of these like shaming as far as like young girls being pulled out of class and being told to put on t-shirts or different shorts because they're being too revealing.
Right. And then there was this the reporter also that was wearing this black glittery outfit that was also told to wear a sweater in front of the camera, like she was just wearing a regular outfit. And that just, the shaming is really a part of a society now, because it's easy for them to shame somebody because they're just hiding behind their keyboard. And I think that it's not really what somebody tells you. I mean, for school, I have a really interesting idea about this, and I think it's going to change how people think about me as a designer, because aside from the fact that I want to be socially responsible, I mean, my adult outfits are very revealing, sexy.
Yeah, definitely.
And I have a lingerie fashion show, so I don't want people thinking, oh, she's a hypocrite. She's talking about kids should be more prim and proper, and then she has very revealing outfits. I always think like there is time and place for everything, So with kids, my idea is that I grew up in a school system where everybody wears uniform. So in my country, all the kids that goes to school
Wore the same
wear
thing.
uniform, the same outfit, the same length, and if they grow up a little bit, they have an extension. So they basically have this full skirt for the most part, this full skirt, and then they just fold it, and then when the kids grow up a little bit, they just fold it down a little bit, so it's going to be longer. But the reason that I think that uniform works very well in a lot of countries, like in Japan or in China or any other countries like in Europe, they have school uniforms and even private school here, school uniforms. I think it's very important. As a designer, I'm not making money by saying this because I have a junior collection coming up and even K-fobs. I think it's, but you have to select what's best for these kids because the main thing with the main concern as far as the parent when their kids are going back to school is like, oh my god, how many outfits am I going to need to buy, what kind of
Yeah.
outfit, it has to be branded, it has to be this, because I don't want my kids to be bullied in school or be laughed at because they don't have the best outfit. And I think that if you are actually implementing a uniform system in school, that would be one thing they didn't have to worry about
The
getting
parents don't
bullied,
have to worry about the kids
spending a
aren't.
lot of money.
Parents don't worry about spending a lot of money. Kids don't worry about being bullied.
Hmm.
We had that option to have creative expression when we were in high school.
Hmm.
So, but I wore uniform up until I was in seventh grade, seventh to
Hmm.
eighth grade,
Hmm.
and then our middle school had changed over, and we could wear whatever we want, which was cool. But I had uniform for so long.
But wasn't it
I was
exciting
still
that?
wearing uniform
Mhm.
after the switch,
Yeah,
and
and
it was
here's
just
one thing that I also noticed about the uniform thing is that my parent was doing this. My parents were doing this. So I have when I was younger, what they did was I got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They all get it ready for me, all hanged up in my room. And then I just go, oh, let me get my outfit and then go ahead and change them the same day, the next day, the next day. So I am not spending an hour just trying to decide
decide
what
what to
I'm
wear.
going to wear because what I'm more concerned about is am I going to be able to answer when my teacher asks me
If
to
you,
recite a whole paragraph of my book. So that is really the whole deal. I think it's so important and maybe it's restrictive in this culture in American culture and obviously Philippines still a third world country but that's one thing they didn't have to worry about because they can't
yeah,
really afford so many clothes but here you have more freedom you have more choices and I think the parents need to figure out that the choice they're making for their kids are the one that's going to help them and have a better quality school life
yeah,
that's really my thoughts on that as a designer I think like
yeah.
go for the uniform be creative
It-
on weekends because
and just less
less expense
distractions.
less
Just
stuff on the landfill
yeah.
for sure.
So we'll. I definitely want to hear Kayla's opinion on school uniform or creative expression,
Mhm.
considering that she is a designer and a young
Yes.
entrepreneur. So we're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we'll have our lovely designer on set.
K-pop fashions.
This
We'll
is
be right
Women
back.
Everywhere with
Oh,
Felicity Whitson and Gigi Carrera. Thank you.
fantastic. We'll see you shortly. Don't go anywhere.
Since I met you, there's nothing more I'd rather do than to invite you over to my place. Love is clear, it's in the air. I wanna share what's rare with you over at my place. All night I couldn't sleep away, knowing tomorrow would bring opportunity to be right next to you. I long for this day now, here it is. You soon feel the rhythm of my heart beating for your touch. Because since I met you, there's nothing more I'd rather do than to invite you over to my place. Yes. Love is clear, it's in the air. I wanna share what's rare with you over at my place. Hey. Don't say a thing, let me express myself. You never had a love like I'm gonna Stop fighting, you can't deny it. Let's leave loneliness behind. Because since I met you, there's nothing more I'd rather do than to invite you over to my place. Yes. Love is clear, it's in the air, I wanna share.
Hi everybody, my name is Kayla Perkins. I am the owner and designer of K-Fab Fashions.
And we are here, Women Everywhere, Your Story Matters, Gigi Carrera
And Felicity Woodson. Hey, she just introduced herself.
I
like,
love it.
boss lady, that's what I like.
Uh-huh.
This is obviously an example of a true boss woman to be.
She is ready.
She's ready.
I'm
That's
so
awesome.
excited. So Kayla is the designer of K-Fab's fashion. And well, tell us a little more about yourself. Give us a little bit more of information about who you are and how old you are, what school are you in, and some of your activities.
Just a little snippet.
Yeah.
I'm 11 years old and I'm in the 5th grade and I go to National Teachers Academy and I used to dance with the junior levels dance team and I've been doing it ever since I was 5 years old.
Oh, so you answered my question for earlier.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So tell us a little bit about your design. K-Fab fashion, and what inspired that?
What inspired me to do this is that ever since I was 6 years old, I designed my own dancewear from Angela King Design. And I used to like mix and match different types of styles to get the right style.
Mhm.
And I just love fashion ever since I was 6 years old.
And so you just
and
decided
you're 11 now.
one day I'm just gonna make my own clothes. Like, when did you decide? Like, was it like yesterday or was it like?
It was a long time ago. It started when I was 6, when I first designed my own dancewear from Angela King Design.
Okay. So
And let me first this. I want to see her T-shirt actually. So this is one of her logos. She actually has 3 logos, and
See?
so one of them is right here. And her motto is "Raise Your Bar," and I love that. So tell us a little bit. How did you figure? Because when we were working, we actually worked together with her designs as well. So I don't put my design in there. We manufacture, we make her clothing. So how'd you figure that raise your bar?
I figured that raise your bar because I want to inspire other girls to do this. And I've been like obsessed with fashion, so I want to make sure other girls are confident in themselves and have self-esteem. And that's mainly what raise your bar means, to have self-esteem and confidence, because if you don't have confidence, you don't have self-esteem. If you don't have self-esteem, you don't have confidence.
Kind of 2 in 1. Right? So I'm sure your friends are really excited to have a designer in the group. Do they ask you to make their clothes all the time?
Yes.
And do you?
Yeah. One of them designed one, and I'm gonna let her model it since she designed it, because I don't want to take nobody else's design. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Before the show, we were kind of talking about collaborating and getting together as a whole, especially women, young women coming together and building each other and inspiring each other. And so it's awesome that you can have a friend that is also a designer and want to share her work with your work and get her involved with your fashion shows and get her involved just like you would want her to get you involved. And so that's great that you're really showing that trait early on, because
I don't know what I was doing when I was 11 for sure.
when I was 11, I think I was skateboarding. I think I was skateboarding, getting scratches on my knees. You wouldn't think that looking at me now.
Yeah, exactly. That's amazing that she's starting young. I think it's really important because when you're young, you can make as many mistakes, try to not make a mistake. But when you do make a mistake, you have the opportunity to bounce back because you don't have so much responsibilities and things like that. So as far as your business model, like when you tell your friends that you're a designer, what is their first reaction? Like, do they sound like they're supportive? Do they love the idea? How do they want to get involved with your business?
They will be very excited. They'll ask, "Can I join? Can I be your brand ambassador?" I already have like two. That's my brand ambassadors, which is Johnson A. Bradley and Kylie McClellan.
Uh-huh.
And they both are in fifth grade with me, and they're my classmates, and they're my best friends.
Fantastic. That's nice that you get a lot of your friends involved, because that's really very important to have friends that are supportive. So I'm thinking, like, so what do you see yourself? Like, do you see yourself like all your friends are wearing your design, you walk into school and say, "Hey, check us out." Is that something that what's your like ideal situation where you can show people what your designs and with your friends and stuff?
I can walk in my own school, and I can show them that I have the power enough to know how to work in a business like this, because it takes a lot of hard work and it takes a lot of courage to do this. So
I'm sure you don't do it by yourself, though.
no, I do it with my mom.
That's great. It's great to have your mom on your team, right?
Right.
Yes.
Somebody to hold you down. That's awesome. Do you have any questions for us, for Gigi, considering that she's a designer herself?
I think she already asked a lot of her questions off air
Yeah,
with our meetings.
she
but
did, I'm sure, but maybe.
Do you have any
anything?
questions for me, or otherwise I'm going to throw a lot of questions to you? That's
I actually do. What took you to be a fashion designer? What was your process of going to be a fashion designer?
Okay, that's a very good question, because when I started doing events and fashion show, I wasn't planning on becoming a designer. So it was an opportunity and I took it. So we have different route. As far as you're a designer, you see that there you have a mission behind it. And for me as a designer, I had opportunity and I had the need to fill, and that's what made me a designer. So when I realized that, hey, one of the reasons, were a few reasons, but one of the reasons is because I feel like it's so important for me to make sure that when I do my events and fashion shows, there was a designer that's reliable. And since it's my event and fashion show, then I am there and I'm always going to be there to fill that need for a designer. So, but now as I grow a little bit more into my design, I just went crazy with my design. I just want to do everything. I learned, so I did the designing and then I learned afterwards. So I didn't have the background, I didn't go to a design school to become a designer. And I think that for you as a young kid, you have the opportunity to actually get ready like long before you become an adult like me, and that's just an amazing opportunity for you.
So from what it sounds like, every designer's process is going to be a little different, considering
Yes.
where you are in your life. Maybe having different resources, different opportunities.
Different ages,
Especially different ages.
Yeah.
So considering that you're 11, you have that opportunity to maybe go to a design school,
or
have the opportunity to design, try new fabrics, try different designs while you're
Exactly.
young. Learn and make those. They say some will say mistakes, and others that are successful will say those are, as learning lessons. Will take those learning lessons and grow with their design. So
yes, and you
have
all the time
the
in
upper
world.
hand. I
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
like.
I totally agree with that. And this is one of the things that I tell people. Like, I wish I had that knack for design when I was at her age, because then I would probably have gone way farther than what I'm doing a lot amazing stuff right now with my catalogs and my fashion shows and all that. But being an 11-year-old really give you that advantage, because you're not afraid because as a designer, when you're older, you're thinking about, oh, are they going to buy my design, or are they gonna love it, how people are gonna accept it. When you're young, you have no fear. You just go for it.
go.
And you're like, I'm gonna make this, I'm gonna make that, I'm gonna make this, and I'm gonna invite my friends without having to worry whether or not you have that freedom basically as a designer.
So with your designs, what do you say is do you put yourself in a certain genre or a certain category that's like really inspiring? So you say that you were a dancer and a lot of your designing started as a dancer. So are your designs really sparkly, really showy, dancing like?
Well, it's kind of like dancing because I want to design dance wear
Okay,
Mhm.
that's awesome.
first before I do my school wear, and then so dancing's like really my life. So
Yeah.
So you
She
said
was six.
yeah, so just young and inspired, which is really awesome.
Mhm.
With your dancing, did you find it you find it complicated at times?
at first, but then I kept growing and I got better at it. So whenever I have an audition for dancing, I'll just take it because I like dancing and it's my strength. So
That's
And I
awesome.
think it's very good for her brand also, with your
Yeah,
dancing and
especially wanting to
having your
do.
outfits, wearing it all the time and things like that. But tell me a little bit more about your preparation as far as like launching this business because you just started it, I think, a year ago, within a year. So what were some of the preparations and, what do we expect to see moving forward? Like what's the plan with the brand?
well, moving forward, I wanted to see like on models running the runway and hopefully get boy stuff out since I'm starting on girl stuff now. So I just want to get girl and boy stuff out at the same time.
And also, do you want to tell them about your preparation? Like, you're coming up with this new line, obviously. You have a GoFund Me. Mention that to the people. Why do you have, where can they find it?
Oh, you can find it on my GoFundMe page at hashtag Raise Your Bar. You can also find it at kfashions11 at Gmail. You can also find it on KFab Fashions on Instagram and KFab Fashions on Facebook.
Yeah, so it's like fab, like fabulous
Mhm.
fashions. Yeah.
So definitely go out and look for those links and check Kayla out and support what she's doing. Do you have any suggestions, any inspiring words for those that are trying to become either designers or start their own business, be dancers? What would you say to those people that are out there?
I,
Especially the young kids. Yeah.
Especially, yeah,
I would say if you have a dream, go for it. But it's going to take a lot of hard work though, since I'm kind of a professional dancer, since I dance with the Chicago Bulls. It might take a long time for you to get there, but you'll eventually get there if you just keep pushing and have hard work and show courage and grit and
and
integrity.
grit.
Exactly. And great. Yeah. I can't remember when I used that word, but that's amazing. Yeah. So make sure to check out Kayla's Fab Fashion. She has a GoFundMe for her first fashion show that's happening August or September before back to school. So she's going to have a ton of your design. The first set of her designs going to be shown on the fashion show. We got to cover that event.
Yeah, we
Yeah, I
will.
cannot wait to see that.
I
We'll
love
be
that.
there.
We will
Yes.
be there.
We, WE,
WE, I
Women
love
Everywhere, will be
that.
covering that event for sure. So there's a GoFundMe for your brand so it can get started and a little push. And I think there's something that I'm going to be announcing anytime this week now about the my support to the junior entrepreneurship community, and I would like to invite you to be part of it, obviously, to be one of my prospect junior entrepreneurship. It's going to be like a Shark Tank kind of event for junior entrepreneurship, so she's going to be one of them, obviously. And I'm so excited about that. I'm so excited for your brand. Make sure to follow her
Is there any?
Facebook page.
Yeah, tell us your Facebook page and your Instagram and all of that stuff one more time so that they can follow you.
Yeah, slower this time.
Yeah, slower.
So it's kfashions11 at Gmail, kfabfashions at on Instagram, kfabfashions on Facebook, and my GoFundMe page at hashtag Raise Your Bar.
Okay, one last question before we take a break. What do you advise to your friends when they ask you what is this proper school outfit?
Like when say if a boy has like they pants sagging and they would need a belt because that wouldn't be like proper in school. You'll get like in trouble for that, or you'll have to change your pants or do anything.
So
And then
no sagging.
No sagging pants for
First of
boys.
all, for boys, no sagging. What about their top?
like it shouldn't be like drifty or shaggy. It should be like a straight shirt, kind of like this one, but like more straight. If it's navy blue, light blue, any color uniform. And for girls, don't try to wear like a skirt that's too short because there are like boys like in their classroom, so don't wear like short skirts and don't wear like half top shirts to
Yeah.
school.
What do you like? Do you have you tried wearing those skirts? You know, the skirts and the shorts inside. I love those. Those are
So
definitely
you
for girls
would you consider that really appropriate?
Yeah.
outfits. Yeah.
So back to that appropriateness for kids in school, parents, those that are watching, don't make sure your son has a belt, because nothing is more annoying than watching kids and grown men walk down the street
Grown men too.
with their pants down to their feet.
Mhm.
And for your young little girls, making sure that their skirts are not too short and having something underneath their skirt,
Mhm.
because let's be honest,
They play around. You know, they go to
people play
yeah.
around, you have fun,
And there's
there's stairs.
Yeah.
We want to protect our youth, so make sure our youth are dressed appropriate, dressed like youth, because if we dress them like adults, people are going to look like them like adults, I feel
Right.
like. So
Yeah.
so it's important. So thank you so much for giving us.
Yeah.
And
Thank you so much for being here. We're
one
so
last
excited.
thing you want to say before you leave?
I just say that I'm Kayla, and I would like to thank my mom.
Of course, don't forget her.
I like to thank my mom because she put a lot of hard work into this, and I love her very much. And I'm Kayla, and I'm the owner and designer of KFab Fashions.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll have a wrap up and some of the Q&A if there's question, and we'll try to answer them. But don't go anywhere at Women Everywhere. Your story matters at Intellectual Radio. Awesome.
Since I met you, there's nothing more I'd rather do than to invite you over to my place. Love is clear, it's in the air. I wanna share what's rare with you over at my place. All night I couldn't sleep away, knowing tomorrow would bring opportunity to be right next to you. I long for this day now, here it is. You so feel the rhythm of my heart beating for your touch. Because since I met you, there's nothing more I'd rather do than to invite you over to my place. Yes. Love is clear, it's in the air. I wanna share what's rare with you over at my place. Hey. Don't say a thing, let me express myself. You never had a love like I'm gonna give you. No one can compare. Stop fighting, you can't deny it. Let's leave loneliness behind. Because since I met you, there's nothing more I'd rather do than to invite you over to my place. Yes. Love is clear, it's in the air. I wanna share what's rare with you over at my place. Yes. Since I met you, there's nothing more I'd rather do than to invite you over to my place. Love is clear, it's in the air. I wanna share was rare with you over at my place.
We are back. This is Felicity Woodson.
And Gigi Carrera with Women Everywhere. We're live here every Sunday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m.
That's Central Time.
Yes, you always have to
I have to
remember.
always say that because we have listeners in other areas and other time zones. So we want to make that distinct.
Yeah.
So if you guys just missed, sorry, you missed Kayla Perkins.
Mhm.
And oh my gosh, she's so amazing. So definitely catch the archives and watch the show. K-Fab Fashions, 11-year-old entrepreneur and designer doing a lot of great things. She's a dancer for the Chicago Bulls.
Yes, absolutely.
Doing her own fashion show, her own line right now. Definitely would like to support her. She has a GoFundMe, Facebook page, Instagram page. So look that up. We'd love to. We women are going to support her and what she has going on, and the fashion shows and the different designs that she has going on. Gigi is supporting her with helping her make those designs happen and come to life. Exciting. So that's awesome. So how do you feel about that?
I am so excited for her. I mean, whenever somebody, even young kids come to me and ask for help or anything like that, I love to inspire them. And, having her with a set goal in mind, and that's really something that's amazing to have somebody like that.
Even though she said that her designs right now are more fashion driven and inspired by her dancing and inspiring her friends. She's mentioned a school wear, and we were talking about what was appropriate for youth, and I thought that's awesome. What better way to have youth wearing an appropriate clothing than having a young person themselves designing and making clothes specifically for the youth, which we need. We need more youth to be inspired, to have the courage, like Kayla said, to come forth and start making their own designs and making things that are appropriate for their generation.
Yeah. I think it's lovely. I think that more parents should encourage their children to really just let them be and let them have that's a problem with not have a lot of imagination. I think kids get too busy doing things that doesn't really matter or doesn't help them with building their future. And I think that that's something that parents need to encourage their children, and that encouraged me to have kids so I can encourage them to become business people. Because when I see children like this, I'm like, this is it. I should be doing this.
I don't have any children myself, but I do have nieces and nephews and cousins, tons of them. And so it's awesome to see somebody so young doing something like that. Like when I came out here, I had no idea of being on radio, being on TV, doing fashion shows, being a model. And when it happened, I wanted my family to be involved. My sister is a cosmetologist. So what better way to inspire my sister than to bring my sister to a fashion show, bring her behind the scenes and show her these makeup artists and what they're doing and what scale it is. And so if you don't have any kids and I have brothers and sisters who inspire them to get involved in something, whether that be sports, dance, gym, whatever, design, art, inspire your youth.
The more
it's
positive
really
side of them growing up instead of,
the more youth that we have inspired doing great things right now, the greater the future is going to be. People are like, the kids are the future. But they really are. Like, people always say the youth are the future, but they are.
But they are.
Let's be realistic, they are.
So, like, what I wanted to ask you too is, as far as the fitness side of the youth, like, how sustainable, how can you sustain that, encouraging them and motivating the kids to really stay healthy and stay focused on their fitness?
Well, like I said, obviously it's going to be with the family. The family has to do it as a whole. I do strength and conditioning with youth. I have, she's 11 and she's a gymnast. We did state competition a month ago,
Oh
and
my
she
God.
took
Yeah, I
home.
heard about that.
Yeah, you can check it out on my Instagram. She took home a couple of medals, and even all around medals. So that was really awesome. And for me, it was, for her, she was a gymnast that works hard. She just gymmed this many times a week. Then she was coming to see me this many times a week. And then she was seeing somebody else that many times a week. And so for somebody that's already involved with sports
Or dance.
or
like,
dance
yeah.
or some sort of physical activity, and a lot of it, for me, my thing was inspiring her how to have fun.
Uh-huh.
My thing was inspiring her
important.
how to be conscious of her body awareness, be conscious of her moods, be conscious of having fun, and watching her grow, and acknowledging her growth. Now, that is an athlete, so it's a different, but for
different workout.
it's a
for
little different
athletes
workout
or-
for a different athlete. But for, in terms of somebody that's not involved, is just having that like buddy system. So if you want to encourage your kid to do fitness, well, be fitness yourself.
Yeah, well,
Eat good yourself.
One thing too is that if your kids are healthier and they are more into fitness and eating right, I think they have better chances of actually focusing on important things like you know business, because you can't really, I don't expect to see a lot of kids that are unhealthy or sick that are starting their own business like
Yeah.
K-Fabs.
Yeah, and it's going, health and fitness is definitely being proactive, and it's definitely being advocated for youth, especially. You have Michelle Obama that is really reaching out to kids and the community
school,
as far
yeah.
as obesity in the school. So it's definitely one of those things that we have to talk more about in another episode, because we are running out of
we're
time.
running out of
So that is
time.
more of a reason for you guys to catch up and talk to us more about what's going on in the community and fitness.
And next week we'll be here at 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Of course, I'm not going to forget that. And also check us out on Facebook, Women Everywhere. And also we have
you can check out our personal page.
iTunes. Yeah, we have Intellectual Radio, iHeartRadio page. So make sure to check us out. Thank you for tuning in here. We'll see you next week at
Women Everywhere, and this is Felicity Woodson
and Gigi Carrera. See you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Love is clear, is in the air. I wanna share what's rare with you over at my place. All night I couldn't sleep away, knowing tomorrow would bring opportunity.